What celebrity have you lost all respect for? Why? Ellen DeGeneres. Man, I remember how awesome I thought Ellen's Energy Adventure was, and she's also the voice of Dory and she just seems so nice, but turns out, she's a massive asshole. I remember watching the special where a woman who had recently come out was in tears thanking Ellen for making it a little easier for her to be herself. Fast forward to now, so disappointing how she's acting. I'm so out of the loop. I remember her employees saying she was mean. Is there more to it? There was the time she outed Mariah Carey's pregnancy in a super bitchy way. Mariah was very early in her pregnancy and not ready to tell people, because of prior complications. So Ellen straight up asked if she was pregnant, and when Mariah denied it, Ellen said, "Okay, let's have some champagne to celebrate not being pregnant." And brought out champagne. Forcing Mariah to admit, on national TV, something very personal she wanted to keep private. Or to drink while pregnant. Mariah miscarried shortly after. Which is exactly why she did not want to tell anyone, because it was way too soon. Bitch. I never knew she did this. This is actually vile. Steve Tyler, for convincing parents to sign a 14-year-old over to him. After a few years of drugs, ducking and an abortion, dumping her back on their doorstep at 17. Massive cunt. OJ. Many here are too young to realize just how beloved the juice was before, you know. How could you shake hands with that murderer? With all due respect, that murderer ran for over 3,000 yards at it. I've been informed the quote is 11,000 yards. Dude still holds the league record for rushing yards per game in a single season and is the only player to rush for 2,000 yards in the 14-game season. Chris Brown. Can't believe he's still out there making music like nothing happened. For anyone who hasn't read it, this is the police report of Chris Brown's beating of Rihanna. I.cdn.turner.com. There are other incidents of him hitting women and men too. Just an overall vile dude. I love that this is posted every single time his name is brought up in any context. The comments of "I'd let him beat me" back in the day were gross though. Anytime Chris Brown comes up, someone posts the police report. I love it too. I used to respect Mitch Hedberg. I still respect him, but I used to too. Bill Cosby, 'cause drugging plus raping women. He used to frequent a restaurant that I cooked at way back when. It was always so exciting when his manager would call ahead and book his reservation. Everyone on the staff would be in a great mood the entire week leading up to his visit, and he was always gracious whenever he came. My Sue was a huge fan of his, having grown up in a project and pulling himself up by the bootstraps. He and Cosby wound up building a sort of friendly relationship, and Cosby would always book his visits based on said Sue's schedule. Cosby would poke his head in the kitchen and thank the staff and would hang out and chat with Sue when he'd finished eating. It was a very fancy restaurant in major cities, so we were used to getting big wigs, but Cosby was always the celebrity everyone got excited about. Neither the Sue or I worked there when the big rapey news came out about Cosby, but Sue was absolutely crushed by the news. Horrible guy. Wish he would have stayed locked up. He used to frequent Ben's Chili Bowl in DC so much they put up a mural of him. It got repainted in 2017. That's the city I was talking about, though I wasn't a cook at Ben's. Used to live a couple of blocks from it, though. Nicki Minaj sticking by multiple pedos and rapists and intimidating, discrediting their victims is a real deal breaker. I've never heard of this. Could you give some examples, please? Genuinely curious. Her husband was arrested for not registering as a sex offender for a sexual assault he committed in 1994 and served prison time for. The woman he assaulted alleged that he and Nicki also harassed her to drop a lawsuit against him too. She's still married to him. BTW. UseToday.com. Her brother was arrested for raping an 11-year-old, with the girl claiming it happened, up to 4 times a week and sometimes twice a day. Before his trial she posted on Instagram that she loves him. UseToday.com. Ada. She also paid her brother's $100,000 bail by putting up 2 of her houses as collateral. UseToday.com. And on COVID, she said she wouldn't get the vaccine even though she just had a baby because her cousin's friend got it, apparently became impotent and had his balls swell up, and then this man's fiancé didn't want to marry him anymore? She went on a bizarre tweeting spree about it all. RollingStone.com. I scrolled pretty far and didn't see him. Danny Masterton. I seriously loved Hyde in that 70s show. Growing up I wanted to be like that also. He's a rapist piece of shit. Lost any and all respect I had for the guy. This is such a good one. That '70s show is so damn good and he was awesome in it. Such a shame he's actually a shit stain in a puddle of piss. Duck that guy. Yeah, I loved him too, also wanted to be like his character in that '70s show. Then when he and Ashton Kutcher both started The Ranch on Netflix, I was far more excited to see Danny in something again rather than Ashton, and I was right. His humor was on point, he's hilarious, I'm not gonna say he's carrying the show but he's a damn significant portion. Then the news dropped. So Netflix wrote him off the show. I think there was some backlash after because writing him off wasn't good enough. I think Netflix was gonna try to let the whole thing blow over and bring him back. But instead there was a big enough uproar that the first episode of the next season is about finding him dead. Gwyneth Paltrow. I used to like her BC Iron Man. Now I know she's either a scam artist with no morals or absolutely bonkers with no morals. Actually, I think she's more a bit bonkers and oblivious. She's the epitome of someone born on third base who thinks she hit a triple. I think 99% of the crap she pushes she actually believes in and uses herself, but she's too clueless to realize it's horseshit and dangerous to people without the resources she obviously has, and she's too clueless to realize that other people don't have those same resources. Like that time she posted a list of clothes she thinks everyone should get for the next season, not shit she sells, just stuff she likes, and it was like $50,000 worth of clothes. It didn't occur to her that normal people can't drop 6 figures a year on clothes. This seems spot on, with one exception. I think she knows the extra nature of her products, and she knows that the people out there with more dollars than cents are happy to fork over the cash at inflated prices. Emo, I'd say she believes in it, but she also believes that if you can't afford it then you're not her audience. After watching Leah Remini, Scientology and the Aftermath, any celebrity involved with the Scientology church is pretty off-putting. But also talk about a celebrity that I didn't have much respect for then gained some with Leah Remini. It cannot be easy doing what she and Mike Rinder are doing. Exactly this. I respected Leah so much after that series, just knowing exactly what she was risking to even put it out. She really put her life out on the line and was very informative of what goes on. In a society where cults are a very real thing, and are so dangerous, that really makes her sort of a hero in my eyes just to have the guts to stand up against one. Eminem, I met him once and he told me if I came to his concert, he'd come talk to me after. I went with my little brother, who was only 6 years old. We waited for him for 4 hours in the blistering cold, and then he just said no. That was pretty shitty. He was like his idol, he liked him even more than I do. I used to love Kevin Spacey, and well, we all know what happened there. I ducking loved House of Cards. He could really play the manipulative villain very well. That line in season 5, where he says meet your new daddy aged like milk on a hot day. Steven Seagal, that fat bum is a glorified scam artist. I do love the story about him bragging to judo master Gene LaBelle about how he could get out of any hold until Gene finally obliged and put him in a hold he in fact could not get out of, and Steven shit his pants while he passed out trying to escape. But see, that's the genius of Seagal. By shitting his pants, he was able to get out of LaBelle's hold successfully. Shit is gross. LaBelle doesn't want Seagal's shit on him. Dr. Phil. Now I realize he just uses sick-minded people for his own profit. He brought the creator of Bum Fights on the show and kicked him off after showing up dressed as Dr. Phil. The guy said Dr. Phil and him did the exact same thing, Phil just hit it better. After seeing that clip, I have no respect for Dr. Phil. Dr. Oz and Dr. Phil, after seeing them promoting their dollar elf serving merchandise. My dad went to school with Dr. Oz, and said he was a decent, smart person back then. And he was a brilliant, albeit narcissistic, cardiac surgeon back in the day. He would take hopeless cases no other surgeon would touch, to keep their numbers up, and actually fix them a lot of the time. Now, of course this was driven by ego, but I wish he had stuck to the saving lives part of his ego trip rather than the shilling non-cures part. One of my cardiac surgeons was in residency with him. He said the same things. Very smart and a very good surgeon. Hess out of his wheelhouse now.